what do we have here? It's a knife with holes in it. That makes it go faster. Man, I love holes in knives. So cool. I love holes in blades for nice reverse flicking, and holes in handles because it looks cool. This is a CH. What the heck is this guy? A CH. Oops, I got it upside down. A CH 3530 in G10. Well, I mean, we kind of noticed that. Although this G10 looks extra nice because I sanded it, contoured this handle because this sucker was a little too thick before. So I probably knocked it down about a 32nd of an inch across the whole thing, kind of. And then kind of polished it and sanded it and made it look nice. So it's fine, you know, as it comes from the factory in China. It's still nice, you know. I didn't do anything with the blade, and the blade's real nice too. It's a flat, I think it's a flat grind. If it's a bit convex, it might be a tiny bit, but it's pretty much a flat grind all the way from the top. So you can see where that plunge grind goes up. This was the, you know, the full thickness of the blade stock here, and it goes all the way up to that top corner, right? So that's the full thickness, and that drops away right away. Even that part up there is already starting to angle down to the final edge. So it's a very slicey blade, and it's not super thin either at the spine. So they didn't, you know, sacrifice giving it some strength. I mean, it's not super flexible. It looks like it might be, but it's really not. It's also not very drop shutty. One reason is I had to bend the lock bar in more. I had to take it all apart when I was, you know, doing other things too. And I bent that lock bar in a little more because it had a little lock rock. Let's see, does it anymore still? Nope, no lock rock now. So it had a little bit of lock rock, and it was from this lock bar not quite going all the way over like it should. It just kind of stopped about there, and I could tell that it just needed to be pushed over, because when I would push it, just give it a little pressure with my thumb, the lock rock would go away. So that's one way to tell if your lock rock is caused by just not enough spring in the lock. There are other reasons it could happen too, but if your blade's locked up and you can push it forward and back and you feel a wobble, one reason could be this lock bar here needs to be putting more pressure against that angled plane that it locks up against on the bottom of the blade. And one way to get that is take it apart and bend it in just a little bit more. It might take 5 or 6 tries where you think you bent it, but it didn't really go. You don't want to go too far though, because then if you got to end up bending it back, you weaken everything. It's a hot mess. So it's shake shutty for sure. Pretty hard shake shutty actually. But it still feels smooth though. If you just close it with your fingers, it feels really nice. And it looks great. It just has a really nice look. And you know, it's CH, it's a Chinese brand. Maybe they stole this shape from somebody. I don't know. I don't recognize it, but it could be. But I love how that the thumb hole kind of matches with this curve right here. Now, I think I might have added a little bit to that curve. I forget. But even if I didn't, or did, whatever, it looks great. I think I did mess with the flipper tab a little bit. It was a little bit too, it kind of turned up and it was kind of pointy on the end. Now it's pretty much perfect. Just grind it down a little bit. Real good ratios. As you can see, the blade almost goes to the end. You can stick your thumb in there and touch it, but you know, why would you do that? That'd be stupid. Real nice detent. Well, it's a snappy detent because that lock arm is now pressing it even harder, which makes it to where you really have to give it a good press to get it to let go. And it'll almost kind of light switch too. And the reverse flick is pretty nice. Thumb flick, you got to kind of get your thumb down in there, get the meat of your thumb down in the hole, then it'll pop pretty good. But if you kind of just go after it, well, about half the time I can do it just by kind of pressing into it and going. Pocket clip, nothing special. But at least it doesn't look like total shit. Doesn't hang down over the edge like some of the CHs sometimes do. You can tell it's been carried quite a bit. A little scratched up. Use your shit and all that. D2 steel, supposedly. I think these were tested and found to be actual D2. Hardness wise, who knows? Hopefully somewhere near 60. Very lightweight knife. I'm going to guess it weighs about 3.5 ounces, maybe 4, something right around there. But it's a nice one though. Like I said, even without contouring the scales, which it's a fun project because I think this guy is only about 26, 27 bucks, maybe 28, 29. I think it's under 30. If not, right around 30. That'd be the tops. So, you know, get yourself a $30 knife. Practice contouring these G10 scales. It's fun. Comes out with something that's really nice if you do it right. I mean, that's a really nice feel now. No thanks to these awesome speed holes. They really are pretty nice now. I like that. I like seeing the blade go down into the hole. Never stick your pinky in there, it'll chap it off. Why the hell would you do that? I don't know. Somebody probably would. I was gonna take this little bill part off and cut it off right at the top of that curve, because there's really no point in that, and it makes it a little shorter and nicer, but I didn't do it yet, and it doesn't look that bad, so kind of one of those pet peeve things. Now, is that a choil? I think it kind of is. You can choke up on that as long as you're not doing any pushing. If you do some pushing there, there's not much protecting your finger from getting up on that edge there. Anyway, pretty nice little knife from the Chigli Chinese brand CH. They have some kind of name. It's like a big long CH type name, but like sounds Chinese, and I can't really say it too well. I'll write it up here. But they just call themselves CH anyway. So, there you go. Your CH 3530 in G10. Have a nice day.